Greetings everyone, Director Arcater here. I know it's been a while since I last uploaded any canned content, but, I think it's time. I need to get into the new habit of it. It's been the case for some time now that the only time I'm on camera on this channel is with a live stream discussing SCP files every Thursday, and that is going to continue. But I also need to start uploading other videos discussing all sorts of things that are not SCP related, even as dearly as I might hope they were, because it would follow that the Foundation might contain them and make the stupid stop. Like, say, the recent at least partial cancellation of Dr. Seuss, whose descendants have apparently forced publishers to stop producing certain stories, strangely. So, now's the time to stock up on Dr. Seuss. I know I'm going to. In fact, I have if the last time Seuss was randomly claimed to be terribly, unacceptably east in his works. Apparently, one of the controversial stories was the Sneetches. That was one of the best messages of all his works, I might say, but, well, you can judge for yourself, because I'm reading the damn thing. I'm reading it right now. In fact, I'm thinking about making it at least a weekly occurrence. You can call it the Arca Labs Controversial Book Club. But let's go through the story. Now, the star-belly Sneetches had bellies with stars. The plain-belly Sneetches had none upon theirs. The stars weren't so big, they were really so small, you might think such a thing wouldn't matter at all. But because they had stars, all the star-belly Sneetches would brag, "We're the best kind of Sneetch on the beaches." With their snoots in the air, they would sniff and they'd snort, but had nothing to do with the plain-belly sort. And whenever they met some when they were out walking, they'd hike right on past them without even talking. When the star-belly children went out to play ball, could a plain-belly get in the game? Not at all. You only could play if your bellies had stars, and plain-belly children had none upon theirs. When the star-belly Sneetches had frankfurter roasts, or picnics, or parties, or marshmallow toasts, they never invited the plain-belly Sneetches. They left them out cold in the dark of the beaches. They kept them away, never let them come near, and that's how they treated them year after year. Then one day, it seems, while the plain-belly Sneetches were moping and doping alone on the beaches, just sitting there wishing their bellies had stars, a stranger zipped up in the strangest of cars. "My friends," he announced in a voice clear and keen, "my name is Sylvester McMonkey McBean, and I've heard of your troubles. I've heard you're unhappy, but I can fix that. I'm the fix-it-up chappie. I've come here to help you. I have what you need, and my prices are low, and I work at great speed, and my work is 100% guaranteed." Then quickly Sylvester McMonkey McBean put together a very peculiar machine, and he said, "You want stars like the star-belly Sneetch? My friends, you can have them for $3 each. Just pay me your money and hop right aboard." So they clambered inside, and the big machine roared, and it clonked, and it bonked, and it jerked, and it burked, and it bopped them about, but the thing really worked. When the plain-belly Sneetches popped out, they had stars! They actually did! They had stars upon theirs! Then they yelled at the ones who had stars at the start, "We're exactly like you. You can't tell us apart. We're all the same now, you snooty old smarties, and now we can go to your frankfurter parties." "Good grief," groaned the ones who had stars at the first. "We're still the best Sneetches, and they're the worst. But now how in the world do we know?" They all frowned. "If which kind is what, or the other way round?" Then up came McBean with a very sly wink, and he said, "Things are not quite so bad as you think. So you don't know who's who. That is perfectly true. But come with me, friends. Do you know what I'll do? I'll make you again the best Sneetches on beaches, and all it will cost you is $10 eaches." "Belly stars are no longer in style," said McBean. "What you need is a trip through my star-off machine. This wondrous contraption will take off your stars, so you won't look like the Sneetches who have them on theirs." And that handy machine, working very precisely, removed all the stars from their tummies quite nicely. Then, with snoots in the air, they paraded about, and they opened their beaks, they let out a shout, "We know who is who, there isn't a doubt. The best kind of Sneetches are the Sneetches without." Then, of course, those with stars all got frightfully mad. To be wearing star now was frightfully bad. Then, of course, old Sylvester McMonkey McBean invited them into his star-off machine. Then, of course, from then on, as you can probably guess, things really got into a horrible mess. All the rest of the day on those wild screaming beaches, the fix-it-up chappie kept fixing up Sneetches. Off again, on again, in again, out again. Through the machines they raced round and about again, changing the stars every minute or two. They kept paying money, they kept running through until neither the plane nor star bellies knew whether this one was that one, or that one was this one, or which one was what one, or what one was who. Then, when every last cent of their money was spent, the fix-it-up chappie packed up and he went, and he laughed as he drove in his car up the beach. They will never learn, no, you can't teach a Sneetch. But McBean was quite wrong, I'm happy to say, that the Sneetches really got quite smart on that day. The day they decided that Sneetches are Sneetches and no kind of Sneetch is the best on the beaches, that day all Sneetches forgot about stars and whether they had one or not upon theirs. You know, I can't really see the thread there. What was so terribly bad? Oh, is this because his name is Sylvester McMonkey McBean? That doesn't... Well, okay, maybe that's not it. Maybe it's the fact that he's a race grifter. You know, the sort of person who cultivates race hatred between one or more skin colors and then profits off of the strife that they are helping to foment. Could that be it? I think someone felt attacked. Because strictly speaking, the entire moral of that story, near as I can tell, was to remember that, well, one is the same species as everyone else, whether they look different from them or not. It's a rather inclusive message. If there is any refinement to the message, it might be that when the star-off Sneetches were moping and doping on the beaches, they might have instead, I don't know, maybe thrown their own Frankfurter parties. Clearly, they had the money to do it if they had the money to throw at Sylvester. Suffice to say, I think this is one story that should not be tolerated to be cancelled, nor really any of Seuss's works. Whatever the nature of the man himself, his work is fairly unimpeachable. And furthermore, I want to know where the Butter Battle book went, because that was a nice one against war. But I guess that's not so much in fashion today either. The bombing on Syria resumed before inauguration. But, you know, that's just... I hope you enjoyed this, and would like to note that if this isn't controversial, we could fix that. I mean, if we just had one group of the Sneetches murder all the other Sneetches in some gory scene, Sneetch heads flying this way and that, maybe even after McBean has already left all the cash, rather than learn anything from it, they just started murdering the ones they thought were the bad Sneetches. That would have been much worse. So much worse. Maybe that will be amended in the released edition. If you did enjoy the content, please do comment below, like, subscribe, ring the bell, throw money at me, all sort of that. If you didn't enjoy this and don't want to see any more of it, then you can also do all those things, and I guess I can read those comments too. In the meantime, I do consider tuning into the live streams on Thursday, which will continue, and of course, I will be present on assorted other shows. If you would like to discuss this controversial story, the open mic article wait on Saturday at Director Ocketer Live, found in the description, is an excellent way to do that. If you want to tune in there, I try to keep up. I really do. Indeed, I try. Until then, in any case, so long as progress continues, success is inevitable. Sensibly.